Live from Fox 39, WQRF-TV Rockford, and your home team. Eyewitness News at 9 starts now.
Cities across the state held events for the Make-A-Wish Foundation today, the impact it has here in the Rockford community. A state-line church gives thanks to first responders. Their Sunday service included a special blessing. And a local mosque opens its doors to the community members. They hosted an open house this afternoon. Good evening, I'm Taylor Castro. Thanks for joining us tonight. With Halloween just a few weeks away, the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office is warning that they will be on the lookout for drunk and drugged drivers. The office is urging extra caution while kids and families are walking through neighborhoods in the dark. Make a plan to get home before leaving a party, whether it's a sober driver, public transportation, or a ride-share service. They say that walking while impaired is also dangerous and not to walk anywhere alone. A new COVID subvariant of the Omicron strain is quickly spreading across the U.S. CDC data shows the BQ1 and BQ1.1 variants each made up nearly 6% of the total number of cases in the country in the past week. Dr. Anthony Fauci says he's worried that subsequent variants may be more effective at evading medications to help patients manage the virus. Officials are encouraging everyone to get boosted ahead of the expected surge in cases this winter. Now that the fall season is upon us, we know how quickly the temperature swings can come. We may struggle to get out of the 30s tomorrow. And Jordan says we might even see some snow.
Yeah, Taylor, that's right. Actually, the snow could potentially come for the afternoon tomorrow because of the chillier air that we have, but also this low pressure system that brought us a lot of that cloud cover today also could be working its way in. Might see a couple of those isolated flurries working through tomorrow afternoon. But the big story we've been talking about lately has been this chill as we continue to see those temperatures falling overnight tonight. Look at some of these numbers for the afternoon. As you mentioned, we may struggle to get out of the 30s for a lot of us during the afternoon. We are not talking about a lot of sunshine. And because of the strong northwesterly flow, that's what's going to keep us significantly cooler. But in addition to that, we could be looking at the chances for some snow showers. We put this in motion here. We see those isolated flurries beginning to work their way in. That low pressure system continues to spin off just to our north and northeast, and that's what's going to kick up a couple of those chances to work their way in for parts of the state line tomorrow afternoon. So we're not talking about a whole lot of snow, but definitely could be potentially seeing that chance for those snow showers or very light flurries to work their way in for the afternoon. That would be our first snowfall of the season. But temperatures, big story though, remains that the chill, and we're not talking about chill lasting very long. I'll let you know how quickly the 60-degree temperatures will be back coming up a little bit later.
Thanks, Jordan. Today, Make-A-Wish Illinois got people walking to raise money for sick children in the community. Walk for Wishes serves as a fundraiser to help bring the life-changing impact of a wish to local kids who are battling critical illnesses. Amory Wilder talked to a family whose wish came true thanks to events like these.
Even though bad things happen, good things can happen too.
Make-A-Wish Illinois held their annual Walk for Wishes event. A handful of cities across the state participated on Sunday, including the state line, where residents took the extra step for a good cause.
We've been doing it for a number of years out here at Rock Valley College, and it's a great opportunity for Wish families here locally to get together. That's to celebrate, to kind of share their stories. They've been through a shared experience.
According to volunteer Wish granter Dave Costello, this is a major fundraiser for Make-A-Wish each year. It's a chance to raise money to support the wishes of kids like 9-year-old Amelia.
She was diagnosed with a terminal brain disease at the end of May, and Make-A-Wish actually expedited her wish within 3 weeks, and we were on her wish trip to Disney in June. So that's why we're wearing the Mickey Mouse ears in honor of Amelia's wish.
Her parents, Aaron and Crystal Meyer, say the process has brought them even closer during hard times. Because of that, they hope all the walking will create more wishes for others to experience.
The amazing thing is that the money that is raised today goes to people here in the Rockford area, nowhere else but here locally, and that means a lot to our family.
Impact more families that might be going through the same thing or a similar situation of devastation in our community, and just try to help bring so much happiness to other families that might need it.
That was Amory Wilder reporting. A state-line church is giving thanks to first responders for the work they do to keep the community safe. Police, firefighters, and medical personnel from Boone County took part in a blessing during Sunday's service at Zion Lutheran Church in Belvedere. Members of the congregation also wrote thank you notes to express their gratitude.
doesn't.
And we're blessed by the fact that right down 6th Street we have a fire station that often reminds them of them rushing into harm's way to protect the community. So occasionally when the sirens are going off and the large trucks are rumbling past our doorstep, we remember them.
It's
we give
Thursday
thanks.
night worship.
It's Thursday night worship, yes. So
up in the sanctuary,
yeah.
We see them coming down 6th Street.
There was breakfast after the service. The church hopes to make this an annual tradition. A Rockford mosque spent the afternoon sharing more about their religion. The Muslim Association of Greater Rockford hosted a mosque open house called Meet Your Muslim Neighbors. The event is specially organized for non-Muslims to learn more about the religion and the community members who are a part of it. There was a tour of the mosque, a presentation on Islam, Arabic calligraphy, henna, food, and more.
When you move to Rockford and you drive down Harrison, you kind of see this big building and it's gold and it's just there, and you sometimes wonder like what's inside. So if we're advertising and hosting these kind of events, then people who are living in the area or in the neighborhood or just moving to town can actually see what's going on.
This event has been held every year since the mosque opened. The candidates for Illinois governor will be on the debate stage for the second and final time on Tuesday. Governor J.B. Pritzker and challenger Darren Bailey will go head-to-head for 1 hour at WGN Studios in Chicago. The debate will be aired over on Fox 39 at 7 p.m. on Tuesday night. The Kremlin says releasing WNBA star Brittney Griner from prison is not a priority issue. An aide to Russian President Vladimir Putin made the comment on a state-run talk show today. This comes a week after former U.S. Ambassador to the UN Bill Richardson traveled to Russia to advocate for Griner and said she could be released by the end of the year. President Joe Biden has called for Russia to free the basketball player. Griner was sentenced to 9 years in Russian prison on drug charges. She's been in Russian custody since February when cannabis oil was found in her luggage at a Moscow airport. Basketball Hall of Famer Dikembe Mutombo is undergoing treatment for a brain tumor. A statement released by his family says he's in great spirits as he begins treatment in Atlanta. The 56-year-old spent 18 seasons in the NBA and played for Denver, Atlanta, Houston, Philadelphia, New York, and New Jersey. Since retiring, he's focused on charitable and humanitarian causes.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
Temperatures once again for this afternoon made it into the 50s, similar to what we've had these last couple of days. Looking at some of our high temperatures across the area, 54 in Rockford, 53 in Rochelle, 54 in Freeport, only 49 degrees up in Monroe. Those temperatures, though, continuing to fall throughout the evening tonight because of the cooler air mass that's beginning to settle in. Temperatures out there currently still remaining in the low 40s, in a couple of spots getting close to the upper 30s already here this evening. Those temperatures will continue to fall throughout the evening underneath fairly clear skies for quite a few of us, but there is some slight chances for a couple of sprinkles that are working their way in from the north. This low pressure system is what's brought us all this gloomy weather over the day today and will continue to bring us fairly gloomy weather tomorrow, in addition to the much cooler temperatures and even our first chance for snow. But we'll get to that here in a moment. Temperatures tonight, though, continuing to fall here throughout the night underneath fairly clear skies. SkyTrack camera is overlooking downtown Rockford. That's sponsored by Window World. A little bit breezy out there this evening, so it does feel pretty chilly if you're going to head out the door at any point over the next few hours and early tomorrow morning. Temperatures fall close to that freezing point across the area, including 31 degrees here in Rockford. Winds picking up quite a bit, though, out of the northwest behind the cold front that we had earlier today. Could gust up close to 30 miles per hour, and that's not even where we're going to be tomorrow afternoon, where wind gusts could be up to 35 miles an hour in some spots. Notice the high temperature as well, 40 degrees. That's pretty close to where we should be for our normal low temperature about this time of year, but because of this upper level low drawing in plenty of cold air, that's where we're going to see those temperatures quite a bit lower. In addition, with the wind and the chill, we're talking about potentially our first chance that we could see a couple of snow flurries working their way in for the afternoon. That's where we're going to see that low pressure system that's going to draw that cooler air, just enough moisture in the atmosphere to potentially bring those as well. And as with those temperatures, if we end up reaching to 40 degrees, that would break a record for a cool high temperature. That 44 degrees was the previous record set back in 2002. After this all works its way out there, we're actually talking about the chill not hanging around for very long, because That trough that's working its way and bringing that cooler air in will eventually work its way out of the area, and a ridge behind it will develop, and that's what's going to bring us a little bit warmer air as we trend toward the back half of the week and even into next weekend. So putting all this together with Futurecast here, here's what we're looking at as we continue to see fairly clear skies overnight tonight, dropping temperatures down even close to the 20s in some spots. Tomorrow afternoon, we do not get very much warmer than where we start out the day, only getting up into the upper 30s and maybe low 40s for a couple of us. But notice very spotty chances for a couple of flurries to work their way in for the afternoon, especially in some areas where the temperatures do not get up into the upper 30s. That's where we could see a lot of those potentially working their way down as snow as opposed to rain because of how cold it is in the upper atmosphere. Now, these temperatures that we're talking about, this is typical air that we would expect to see by the time we get into about a month from now or even a month and a half from now by about mid to late November. Comparatively, we should be a little bit closer to the low 60s at this point and upper 50s. That's what we're actually going to be seeing, though, as we trend toward the back half of the week. Notice I mentioned that warm up here coming fairly soon, but we got to get through a couple of days still. A little bit brutal, though, with temperatures in the 40s, lows in the 20s for the next couple of days, but we're trending upward. We're back into the 50s by the middle of the week and even close to the 60s and even upper 60s, close to 70 degrees, but that comes with some rain chances as we trend into next week and next weekend.
Now sports with Reagan Holgate.
The Packers would try to bounce back today after last week's loss to the Giants. The Jets were in Green Bay, both teams sitting at 3-2. Everyone wondering if the Jets are for real, and I think today's game showed us that they are. Quite a boring first half in this one, though. Third quarter, game is tied at 3. Bad news for Packers fans, though. Randall Cobb gets leveled there and goes down with an ankle injury. He was carted off and did not return to the game. Later in the third, same score, Zach Wilson flips it to Braxton Berrios, and he's going to break free and take it in for the 20-yard touchdown. Jets ahead 10-3. Still in the third, and Pat O'Donnell's punt is going to be blocked, and it'll be scooped up by Will Parks, who's going to run it in for the score. My goodness, Jets lead 17-3, and they are just absolutely owning Lambeau today. The Packers dropped their second straight, 27-10.
That was very humbling when you're in your own building and you get taken like that and lose by 3 scores.
Yeah, this is the NFL, so nobody's gonna feel sorry for you. Let's get back to business. If it's good enough when we're 3-1, it's got to be good enough when we're 3-3.
Here's a look at some of the other scores today. The Vikings continuing to dominate, winning 24-16 over Miami. They moved to 5-1 after today, and this was the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career that he's been the underdog at home. The Bills slid out of that one with the 24-20 win to also improve to 5-1 on the season. And take a look at this. Don't count the Yanks out just yet. They needed this win to force a Game 5, and they got it. 4-2 the final from Cleveland. They'll travel back to New York for one more tomorrow. The Ice Hogs faced off with the Moose again today in this opening weekend finale after an explosive overtime comeback yesterday. Could they keep the momentum rolling in Winnipeg? Let's take a look. Ice Hogs here on the power play in the second, but a bad pass from Lucas Reichel, and short-handed Jansen Harkins goes down the right side and scores. 1-0 Moose. Now to the third, Brad Lambert on a breakaway. He fires and he'll score to put Manitoba up by 2. And then comes another, this one from Kevin Stunland, and it's all Moose in this one. The Ice Hogs don't have that comeback magic today. They'll drop this one 4-0 and split this opening series with the Moose.
I mean, it's just being hungry around the net, finding those loose pucks, and sometimes it's broken plays that you score on, right? I think we got some good information from the weekend here that we can have some discussions about and make some tweaks and improve.
And let's just take a quick peek ahead to what's next for the Hogs. Their home season opener is next weekend at the BMO at 7 p.m. with the Chicago Wolves. They'll finish off that weekend series with another against the Moose. More action at home on the 28th and 29th with the Wolves and the Senators. November 2nd is their first Wednesday game of the season, and that'll be an early morning one. And they'll finish out their 7-game homestand first weekend in November with the Griffins and the Wild.
Saturday was a crazy day in college football all over the country, but especially in Knoxville, Tennessee. The Volunteers upset Alabama with a field goal in the final seconds, getting a win for the first time in 16 tries. So naturally, the over 100,000 fans stormed the field. They even took down the goalposts. Fans carried them through the stadium tunnel, down the streets of the downtown strip, and headed for the Tennessee River, where they ended up leaving them.
Gosh, you've seen some of these videos on Twitter of them just literally taking the goalposts, and it's really quite a feat of teamwork, because
Right?
I would imagine that they're not light by any means. And
No.
I don't know, we didn't see the video of them actually trying to pull the goalposts down, but it was definitely a struggle for a lot of them. It took a lot of body weight to be able to pull those goalposts down, so it was something definitely worth noting. They were able to actually carry them all the way out of the stadium and even throw them into the river, which I think is probably the funniest part about
Teamwork.
this whole thing.
I mean, and based on what Reagan said, I don't think we'll be seeing any goalposts going down around here anytime soon.
Probably not.
Maybe my Illini. Maybe my...
We can always have wishful thinking.
Yes.
Right? Well, you know something that is also going to be coming down here fairly soon, and we might actually see our first snowfall of the season. Unfortunately, I have to be the bearer of bad news with that. The First One interactive radar from Rockford Auto Glass does actually keep us fairly clear overnight tonight, but that does not remain the case early into the day tomorrow. So we see those slight chance for some flurries to be able to potentially work their way in throughout the afternoon and even into the evening hours, but we're not talking about a whole lot of snowfall, if we get any at all. But that's the very slight chance we could see that. Temperatures, though, remaining very cold with a strong northwest wind. We start warming up Tuesday into Wednesday and Thursday, but we're still close to 70 degrees by early next week.
Gotta break out those winter jackets. Thanks, Jordan, and thank you for joining us. Have a great night.